All right. Take your seats, everyone. Yes, Derek Sensei is back again. We've been going at this channel for what, a month now? You know when class is in session, and a month is long enough for you to get complacent, so I'm going to keep all of my students on their toes. We're changing up the class a little bit. Today's lesson is about this. This magical thing that is happening all around you right now. You're in class, and this is our school. The flowers of your youth are blooming and... What? There's normally music that starts the lesson? Fine. Jimmy! Play the new song we talked about. As I was saying, you have to enjoy these precious days of youth. You're not going to get them back. When you get to be an old man like me, you'll wish that you had gone and done more. It makes me think sometimes, those dark and creeping thoughts that I get when I lay in bed before I'm actually tired enough to fall asleep, that I wish I could go back to my school days. Would I be any different if I went back knowing the things I know now? Could I magically change everything if I was 17 again, or would I still end up as a washed-up 25-year-old with no goals and a part-time job running a register? Luckily, I don't have to ask because ReLife shows us exactly that. Kaizaki Arata is what I made myself out to be a moment ago. He lives alone, unable to get a real job because of a bad record after he left college, nearing the closer side to 30, and becoming more and more hopeless every day. That's when he's made an offer. He'll be set up with a real job and have the next year of his life paid for if he agrees to be an experiment. He just has to take a single pill that will make him look younger. A second chance. That chance to relive or experience what the show title calls ReLife. Thinking it's too good to be true, Kaizaki does it anyway. When he wakes up the next day, he notices his fresh face in the mirror. He looks 10 years younger. But being an adult around teenagers is a hard thing to manage sometimes. Growing older and learning through hard experiences makes you see things differently. In the 13 episodes and 4 bonus parts, all of which you can find on Crunchyroll, we see a year in the life of a 27-year-old high schooler and the friends he makes. In something we could all mirror, he uses his life experience to enrich the lives of those around him. He learns from them as well. In a single day, I binged it all, taking in all the smiles and every heartbreak. For a moment, I even started to wish that I could go back to that time as well. There's also more than just seeing the trials that we go through as young adults. Worries of the future pop up too. Kids worrying about what college they'll go to, or students being afraid that they'll be forgotten. Especially Kaizaki, who has promised that at the end of the year that everyone that he meets will forget him after they graduate. It weighs heavily on his mind that the friendships he'll make will all just be erased, but does that make them any less valid? Is happiness wasted effort if it doesn't last or if no one can remember it? Personally, I don't think that's the case. Even when people forget you, or your name, or what you did, they always remember how you made them feel. His second chance at life goes well, for the most part. It'd mean a lot for me if you'd add it to your to-watch list, but as someone who watches almost half the shows that come out every season, I know that can be hard. Take a day to dedicate to ReLife if you think it fits your style. It's got good humor, a terrific art style, grade A romance, and it's one of the more wholesome shows that I'm likely to recommend. You might just enjoy seeing what it'd be like to go back to your school days with your adult brain. And this is where the lesson really starts. You can't get those days back. You can't get the current days refunded either. None of them. ReLife is a glimpse through the cracks of a doorway. We see Kaizaki experience something that can happen, so we can learn from it. But it's not just him. It's how he spreads his influence over his friends. So many anime get set in high school, and it's easy to see why. Most of us have been in those seats. We've seen what it's like when our friends are in love, but too stubborn to say it. You might remember what it was like to see your friends fired up about who would get higher scores, the racing of your heart as you looked over at your crush, but as you grew up, a lot of those things faded away. If you could go back, what would you change? Would you have the courage to ask that person out on a date? Maybe study harder for your tests? Make all the right choices? But you can't. You can only cherish each day. Hold that flame of youth in your heart and remember what it was like to be young and passionate about things. Don't let the world wear you down like it's been doing. Being an adult is rough, and it very rarely gets any easier, but there is still so much to enjoy. And if you're still in school, this notice applies to you too. Every experience, every memory, every chance is a precious gift that we can either ignore or appreciate. And I don't want to preach to you. I just want you to take in what I'm saying. You cannot redo. You can only move forward. Do not look back longingly if you feel like you've wasted time. Make the best of right now, and don't gaze at agony in the future. If you're afraid to act because it could end poorly, then you're wasting current happiness. And I don't want that for you. I want each and every one of my students to succeed, to be happy. So your homework is this. Before the next episode of Anime Elixir comes out, I want you to do something that makes you happy, and not something easy either. Do something you've been putting off. It'd be all too easy for you to say that you played your favorite video game or got all white girl schwasty-fasty. I want you to do something challenging. Reconnect with an old friend that you've been thinking about lately. Surprise someone with chocolates. Take my overflowing amounts of outgoing energy and spread the kind of love you wish you could receive. That's all for this week. So long, and thanks for all the anime.